easy talking when racing's a blast. Just here on the High Octane Podcast.
And welcome back to the High Octane Podcast. My name is Zach Woods, and over here is Ricky Gonzalez. Say hello to the internet, buddy. We're back.
We're back. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Episode 3. I know it's been a while since we've had the show. Going to the Paperclip. So we had to name the show the Paperclip. Kind of got overridden by my partner over here on a title. But hey, it happens to the best of us sometimes. That's what happens when you're in a scramble and you got to put a show together.
Well, we're really excited to be back here with you guys here on High Octane Podcast on Spin Move iRacing Network. We really wanted to be able to put on this show for you guys last week. Life gets in the way. We've been pretty clear about this being a hobby and just something we want to be able to do when time provides. But we do have a jam-packed show for us this evening because procrastinating now means that we got to go make some diamonds, Ricky, under pressure to build a timely show. And we have a lot of material tonight. So we will go through for you guys the last 3 weeks of Friday Night Fuel action with Vegas, Darlington, and Texas recaps. Going to try to be as brief as possible, especially on the ones that happened a long time ago. Also, we have a points update for you guys in regards to the regular season championship chase. All that info can actually be found on Sim Racer Hub. We're going to be using an overlay from them tonight, and then we're going to be talking about iRacing updates for you guys. As many of you are on the sim, you've noticed, I'm sure, a thing or two. If you are especially in the NASCAR discipline, palling around some of those tracks, there's lots to see and do in regards to this newest update. And then, of course, the Martinsville preview on the docket. What does this FNF mean? Well, that's Friday Night Fuel. So it in some places it might mean something else. But here, it means Friday Night Fuel. So we welcome. This is Friday Night Fuel's production of High Octane Podcast, Friday Night Fuel. Of course, is the iRacing League that we are going to be talking about tonight, especially in our recaps. So let's get to it. A few weeks ago now, drivers of Friday Night Fuel decided to take on Las Vegas and roll the dice for what was a pretty entertaining contest. Only 4 cautions in this 160 lap event, and we managed to put together a pretty decent race. I can't believe it. Oh, man, I could have swore I just caught a fly in my hand right on stream, just like casually, like Mr. Miyagi, whoop, but I missed him. But so on Las Vegas, we had drivers take the track, and your top 10 are myself. I managed to get a win at Las Vegas, and a few names that we had mentioned in the beginning as new guys to look out to brought their A game to Las Vegas as well. Grayson Pate, Ethan Horst, Caleb Collins, Bill Sleep, and 6th was Jerry Cokes. Nate Estep finished 7th, 8th, John T. Garrett, 9th, Paul Owens, 10th, Mark Gonzalez, last season's champion, rounds out the top 10. This isn't the last time we'll wind up talking about Mark. But it was a pretty straightforward race. A lot of heavy hitters in this one, and we saw some cautions that took out quite a number of guys that would have otherwise been, I guess, bigger players than myself at Las Vegas, and pretty much had like a 4th, 3rd place car most of the night. Pretty good long run car. Probably would have flirted with first on my own with the long run speed. I always tend to do really well there and at Kansas. But the reality is kept the nose clean. Some other guys didn't, and managed to get the second win of the season there at Vegas.
What a race for you. I don't know what happened. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
to our viewers. I wasn't there, and so I was gonna let my partner over here just kind of tell us what happened with the story. But I did get a brief from you the next day. I remember you texting me the same night saying that you had won and you did it again, and I just said, "How? How was this possible on a mile and a half?" But again, Vegas is the best track that is on the circuit for you. You've always been a master of that place when we ran in other leagues, and to hear that you've won, and there was also a little bit of foolery that happened during that event with the second place guy trying to run you down, and just ecstatic that it was a fun race for you, even though lap traffic kind of got involved with you as well. But able to still come out on top, man. Able to lead the playoff standings with 2 wins, and I think, man, and that's 2 wins for you in the first 3 weeks that we were able to do this stuff. So big congrats to you leading the playoff standings, and now you just got to stack more and more and more so you get that playoff seeding when it comes time to run for a championship.
Yeah, we'll get the points here in a little bit. There's other races for us to take a look at, and so let's move on because I hate talking about myself. Let's go to Darlington. So 2 weeks ago, the drivers of Friday Night Fuel went over to Darlington Raceway in the iRacing Sim, and finally, right, we talked about this guy a few weeks ago as a guy who's missed a couple races, needs to throw his hat in the ring, needs to be able to really start racking up those points in order to defend a championship run from last season. Mark Gonzalez was able to take Darlington Raceway. Your top five there was Mark, John T. Garrett, you, your the brothers went back and forth in their throwback paints at Darlington, and you got third. Chase Greer finished fourth, and then fifth with Spencer Teal. Crazy enough, this race only featured 3 cars that finished on the lead lap. Only 3 caution laps for the entire 162 lap event. We only had the halfway stage brake caution. Otherwise, everything else went green. So the pace of the front of the field was pretty rapid with Mark out front there at Darlington.
Yeah, he was bad fast all night. I remember he starting in the back and he just methodically worked his way through the field, and he caught us kind of towards the end of that first run, and he was able to get by us on the pit cycle, and then he was just the one to beat. I mean, you tip your hat to him. Came in, he's fast when he shows up. And I'm gonna throw this in the hat too, Zach. And this is a family friendly show. And when he's sober, he can do some damage to these guys when it comes to being quick out on the racetrack. For us, got a speeding penalty at the stage break, put us in the back of the field. We thought it'd be smart enough to come back down, top off, and we just didn't time the restart. We were just way too far back with how spaced out we were. Never caught up to the pace car, and we were just pushing our car to the end just to be able to go up there and get a top 5 and contend with Mark. So all in all, it was still a good day for us. Got stage points, finished third, and that still puts us in contention for the regular season reward. Where if you win the regular season, you get 15 extra playoff points to start your round.
Yeah, so definitely some big time implications in terms of points happening at Darlington. It was really cool to see a bunch of throwback paints. The drivers that were able to come on out participated pretty well in that, and that's always a fun one to go and do. So to go and participate well in that is a great opportunity for our drivers here at Friday Night Fuel. Now, we can finally get a little bit more in depth in terms of what happened here at Legacy, Texas. And according to the iRacing app, oh, yeah, we did do that, didn't we?
We messed up, didn't we?
Everybody panic. Everybody panic. There's no results for Legacy, Texas. Everybody panic. Give me 1 second. I'll try to save the show. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Well, as he tries
Okay,
to pull
I
up
got
the results, oh, he got him. I was gonna go into depth of what Legacy Texas was. So everybody knows last season when we did this show, we talked about 2 ends of the racetrack being completely different. That's the current configuration of Texas Motor Speedway. Also, being a fellow Texan and living only 45 minutes from the racetrack, this is a place where some of our drivers call home. And so I know people like John T. Garrett, myself, Caleb Collins, we're all residents of Texas. And so whenever you try to go to your home racetrack, it always means a little bit more. But this season, we decided to do the legacy version. Both ends of the racetrack are the same, 24 degrees worth of banking. And it just put on a great product for at least we're going to get into that part, Zach, but it just put on a great product with people having to maintain momentum throughout the corner and not having to figure out one end of the racetrack and then be better on the other end of the racetrack. It was just, if you messed up one area, it cost you the whole lap, right? So this was the decision making. Also, we got throwing this. Caleb said he would do this if we went to Legacy, Texas. So to shout out our fellow brother, Caleb, we did that race for you just because we know how much you enjoy seeing the old version of Texas Motor Speedway. So, Zach, I'll let you get into the race recap on that one. And that was our decision making when we came to race New Texas or Old Texas.
Yeah, Caleb Collins, that fiend. Anyway, we'll go through the top 5 finishers at Legacy, Texas, and it was you wound up getting the win at the track that means a lot to you, getting the win at Texas. I'm sure that felt pretty good, beating out Dalton Gibson, who had a strong race himself. Some fuel strategy, some tire strategy factors into a lot of the top 5 here today. Caleb Collins finishes third. I am swindled out of a podium and finished fourth. And Brett Bullard winds up getting fifth for that event at Legacy, Texas. Now, what was really cool about this race is that there was a caution that fell just on the outside of possibly making it to the end on gas, and some guys decided, hey, we're going to race really hard, split the stage, or pit as late as possible, where maybe 2 tires become a benefit or a splash and go become a benefit. Other guys on that same strategy, which by the way that was you chose that strategy. Yeah. And then Dalton took tires, as far as I understand. And then there were guys like Caleb Collins and myself who were also on that strategy, but we didn't want pit. And so we decided for that entire run to save gas at different levels of saving. We needed you to come and lap us on the backstretch of the final lap because it wasn't going to work. And Caleb, who swindled me out of a stage win because I was silly and took an extra set of tires because the only thing I haven't done in Friday Night Fuel is actually win a stage. So I was like, I'm just gonna burn a set and go and win the stage. Oh, here's the Texan making this car 8 lanes wide, defending himself for the stage. So he managed to win the stage, and couldn't get him there. And so I was like, all right, well, if I save enough gas, I'll be able to get a top 3 here. And that'd be wonderful. Well, Caleb saved gas better than I did. So all around, all night long, I was just duped by Caleb Collins. So, but yeah, some of us guys decided to save rather way more than everybody else did, and probably got better finishes than how we ran during that night. Really opportunistic, cool fuel mileage race, right? Even between both of you, with you and Dalton, like, although you did the same thing, how you executed it was different, right? You took gas and he took 2 tires. So definitely a race there at the end. The margin of victory, 3.4 seconds. But really, really cool race here at Legacy, Texas.
Yeah, Dalton was definitely the car to beat all night long. He'd been in clean air. Caleb put up a good fight as well towards the middle part of that first stage. He was able to get out in front and lead some laps there. And then yeah, we executed our plan to the fullest, and we just came out winners that time. I do remember Dalton's coming over the radio at the end of the race saying that he slid through his pit box, so that costed him an extra 3 seconds. So when we all came down to do the 2 tires and the splash and go, we did the splash and go. He slid through the box. We came back on track with an 8-second lead, and he was able just to shrink it just because of those ability to take 2 tires. I thought we were just on the verge. I thought it was just going to take a little bit more time in the pits if we took some tires. So I gambled. Gambled paid off. 3-second win, had that buffer. and we were able to finally win at the place that I've been to since '97, and that's actually my first league win that I've ever won at my home track. So it meant a little bit more. We rocked the Texas Tech paint scheme at that place, and so yeah, to come out on top, it meant the world. I think it's even bigger than winning the Daytona 500 or bigger than winning a championship. Being able to win at your home track, it just means so much to a driver. So yeah, we'll go on next week. I believe we led the most laps. I think we led 129 of the 200 possible laps. So yeah, it was still a dominating performance. Kind of picking up where we left off last season and kind of carry that momentum hopefully throughout the rest of the year, and hopefully we're able to finally hoist the trophy. That's the goal here when we do these league races.
All right. Well, that recap is nearly complete, I guess I should say, because we do have some points to look at in regards to how those three races shape up the Friday Night Fuel season. So I'm going to bring the points graphic up right now. And this is the points graphic from Sim Racer Hub. Normally we have a full screen graphic that is Friday Night Fuel branded, but for tonight, we want to give a bit of a bigger perspective of what's going on, who's trending up, who's trending down, and Sim Racer Hub does a really good job at that. So you guys are able to see all of that here. As you can see, in terms of the fight for the regular season championship, again, you have to keep in perspective that currently, as things are right now in this moment, as of this recording, it is win and you're in. And we have some drivers that have participated in all of the races so far, but that is only three guys who've actually done that all season long. And so it sort of makes sense that those drivers who have raced more have these points. And I think it's a huge opportunity. And we've talked about him a lot, Ricky. But Bill Sleep is second in points. He's chasing a regular season championship right now. Now, the gap between first and second is 23 points for Bill. So that, under the conditions we have right now, it'd take a little while to make that up. But still, I think second for Bill is huge. He's just a grinder.
Yeah, that guy he's been in part of multiple leagues that we've been a part of. He does other leagues such as Tier 1 Racing League, and I know this is a Friday Night Field production and a Friday Night Field league that we cover. But Bill has been up there. He's consistent now. He's able to maintain kind of that top 5, top 10 area with what we got going on as participation starts to dwindle a little bit. Drivers start to drop. They just don't show up anymore like they used to. That's one that actually did surprise me when we were looking at the points as we were prepping for the show. And then seeing Dalton still up there.
Yeah.
He missed Darlington, even though it shows he's there for 5 races. He pretty much missed Darlington, was able to get there at the end of the race and salvage a little bit of points and get a finish out of that. So kudos to him for sticking with it, staying in the session, and then coming out on pit road to get a couple laps in just to see where he wound up at. So if it's me, that's probably my favorite going into it is that driver with JST Racing and what Spencer Till has built as far as bringing in drivers to his team to kind of revamp it after losing a couple. Be on the lookout for them. I feel like he's the one to beat. And if you can maintain with him, and if you can contain with Mark, I feel like those guys are probably the ones that are going to be running for a championship when it's all said and done.
Yeah. Not the guy that's first.
Not the guy that's first. Not the guy that's first. We don't need to talk about him. We don't need to talk about him.
We all know Zach Woods is destined to fumble the bag. That's just the Zach Woods way. So
Oh man, my brake line broke this week. I don't know what happened.
well, I'm gonna take another quick glance here at the points, just for anything notable. I mean, even for like Caleb Collins, he got a stage win. He's part time. It's kind of a model for these guys who want to maximize point days, how to go about it. Like he led, so he's able to get a point for laps led. He maximized points, and like this guy ain't racing for points, but he's showing everybody how to do it, right? So like he led, he won the stage, even though he was at a tire deficit, and he didn't necessarily have the fastest car at the end of the race or the fastest strategy at the end of the race, but he winds up finishing third and racks up a ton of points over at Texas. You can see that reflective in his gain there, plus 11. Caleb is a part-time driver, so he's not going to factor in to the championship chase. But I like guys that are able to come in part-time, kind of show the full-timers what what's up. And I think at that track, Caleb was he had a little more ambition than normal to do really well.
Yeah, and then another driver that's above him, Ryan Seabright. I feel like if Ryan
Yeah.
shows up consistently, I feel like he'd be in the mix to go race for a trophy. So yeah, there's a lot of names on this. Brett's one of them. Obviously, my brother. If Nate Eastep shows back up, I feel like he's a contender. Spencer Till, when he's not working, we've seen him be fast at multiple racetracks. He was quick at Darlington before. I can't remember what happened a couple weeks ago with him, but I know he was one of the fastest cars. He was just mauling me down for the first 40 laps and kind of just staying in line, saving his stuff. And then he able at Darlington, he was able to get by us as well before Mark was able to get around everybody. If Tony Bosser shows up, I know he's getting a lot better on the asphalt side of things, a dirt guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the guy in 20th. That guy is quick week in and week out. We know he's fast. I know he's had a couple family events going on the past couple of weeks to start the season. But look out for that 41 car. Already locked himself into the playoffs by winning at the Rock. So I mean, he has a lot to gain, at least for the regular season. But I know that 10th place cutoff or 12th place cutoff, whatever we do, I can't remember off the top of my head. It's been a long week, Zach. But
12.
wherever that cutoff is, I mean, he's not far behind it. He's only 30 points behind it. Maybe he can sneak himself in when it's all said and done too.
All right, and the points are now going away, and we're back. So we're going to be now taking a quick pit stop. You've been caught up on everything Friday Night Fuel up until today, but now we're going to take a quick break, take a pit stop, and talk about iRacing updates. If you've been on the service for any time over last week, you now know that, well, a lot of things have changed as of late. And I think Ricky, you're gonna handle a lot of this one. So I'll defer over to you in terms of what you want to share with those out there and what they can expect with the service.
Yeah, just a major overhaul with the server, and kudos to iRacing for listening to the drivers and the fans that participate in iRacing. So many people do this, and it's crazy to see when you upload your UI and turn it on how many people are active online. I remember one time there's over 12 million people that are active on the server just wanting to race and are race fans in different disciplines of motorsport. But yeah, iRacing got a major overhaul. A lot on the cars. So the Gen 4, they're doing a new Gen 4 model with the actual Monte Carlo and the Ford Taurus. It'd be really cool to see if they can get a Pontiac and a Dodge in there as well from that early 2000s era, 2000, 2003. That would be really, really awesome. The Ferrari got a new update. The Australian supercar got an upgrade. But we're going to stick to the NASCAR side of things, a NASCAR refresh. NASCAR Tracks introduced an all new Richmond Raceway, the addition of a repaved Iowa Speedway, alongside with its original scan, and art overhauls to 10 additional tracks. That's pretty cool to see, and we'll get into some of those tracks right now. Iowa Speedway, like we said, Richmond Raceway, Sonoma Raceway got an overhaul, Worldwide Technology Raceway, Gateway got one, Charlotte Motor Speedway, North Wilkesboro got one. They're actually going to release the modern version of North Wilkesboro, so that'll be on the server here pretty soon, which will be really, really cool to finally race. And then some overhauls that are coming as well. New Hampshire, Bristol, Darlington, Dover, Homestead, Kansas, and Las Vegas also received updates. And what's happening next are tracks that I believe definitely need overhauls. Circuit of the Americas down in Austin, Texas, Darlington, Daytona, Indianapolis, Lime Rock Park, Phoenix, New Texas, and they just said there's a possibility for even more to get a rescan. So you can see iRacing is doing what it takes to make sure this thing is the best server on the planet when it comes to sim racing. Um, iRacing AI got updated. The paint kit got updated. 90 new sponsor options are now available for selection in iRacing, including some of the top official NASCAR partners and other globally relevant motorsport brands. So, a lot of updates. It took our PC about 45 minutes to finally download everything. Not sure what yours was, but to see the new overhaul, the next gen get an overhaul with the tire model and the specs and the physics that go with it with a crash model, I believe iRacing is setting themselves apart from any other sim racing material that's out there.
For sure. And the interesting part about most of this NASCAR stuff is that it ties into another topic that we are very passionate about here on the channel, and we learned about it actually through a Discord Q&A that the producers of NASCAR, the new NASCAR game, NASCAR 25, coming out, and a lot of these rescans and a lot of the new art textures and things like that, that's in anticipation for seeing all of this come to life on console. So everything that we are seeing in terms of the rescan tracks that you have mentioned, the things that are on the docket, the dev was very clear that this is in anticipation of iRacing's first console game. And I'm really excited to hear that. Like, yes, we like what we experience here on the sim is going to be easily transferable in terms of at least look and track feel to a console. That's is huge news for us that are passionate about console gaming.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see what that brings on that side of like the computer stuff compared to the console stuff. Kind of compare and contrast what you got going on. I'm just praying, come on, iRacing, do this when the update, another update comes out. Just let us drive in victory lane at all tracks. That would be such an amazing feature to add. Being able to just wallop into victory lane and get some photos for your league, or if you're into the art stuff, the graphics, that helps them create some pretty cool stuff that's out there for participants and whatnot. So nothing like driving, Zach, at your home track into victory lane. So I'm hoping iRacing has that. We don't necessarily need to walk around in the garage. We don't need to do all that stuff driving there. But also another cool thing that iRacing did was the digital dash almost on every single car. The ARCA car got one. The truck got one. The next gen obviously had one, but the pages are different now. There's only one page now to the next gen, which drives me absolutely crazy because
They
I'm used to the
murdered my
digital.
boy.
Yeah, I'm
They
used to
murdered
the
my
digital
boy.
tack. So page 2, RIP. I'm gonna say
Oh,
this because there's a viewer out there. RIP, Ricky. Hold it down. But it is what it is. Hopefully they can come out with those pages here shortly.
yeah. So ultimately, lots of great stuff coming from iRacing, both on the traditional iRacing service and then what is to come for their console game. Really excited to talk more about that with you when the gameplay deep dive comes along, and hopefully that's a little sooner rather than later, but we'll have to see. All right, you're all fueled up and ready to go from the pit stop. Now let's get to burning rubber. Looking out the windshield for Martinsville is on tap with the Friday Night Fuel League coming into town, ready to conquer the Paperclip. Yes, it is a historic racetrack that is known not just for its tempers and short tracks, a Hail Melon or two, but also the hot dogs that come out of the stands. I got to give something over to you. I can't take away your title and then not mention hot dogs. So these drivers are getting ready for some short track racing over on Friday. Kind of try to sound like Joey Logano. That's just short track racing over at Martinsville. Ricky, your expectations for this race? I know we've been battling some field filler problems here in Friday Night Fuel, but to be quite fair, there are many times we have went to Martinsville and have been like, there are too many dang people here. So there's nowhere to hide. So what's your expectations for short track racing at Martinsville?
Yeah, I think if we see what we saw last week at Texas, I believe there's going to be opportunities for green flag racing, green flag pit stops, being able to execute on some strategy, seeing if drivers save fuel to make it to the end, such as yourself and what Caleb did last week. There's going to be all sorts of agendas that go through that. Last season, when we had a full field, when we had about 25 drivers do this race, we did have green flag pit stops. We did have a cycle that went through mid stage towards the back half of the race. And so if we see what we saw last week at Texas, I believe we only had 14 drivers show up, 15 drivers show up last week. It could probably get spaced out pretty quickly, even on a short track such as Martinsville. That is super technical, super hard. Shifting is going to be involved. People's brake bias is going to be playing with that, making sure the car can get slowed down. And making sure you don't money shift. You know, when you downshift, making sure that the revs are just right so you don't over rev the motor, and you only get one faster pair. So don't get caught up in other people's mess. I don't believe tires. We didn't see it last season, but with this new overhaul, I'm not really sure how the tire fall off will be tomorrow night. Um, about 20 it took about 25 30 laps so you really got to see some fall off with guys taking tires versus no tires. So it's going to be an interesting race tomorrow. See who shows up, see who can conquer the paperclip, and hopefully, when it's all said and done, one of us, or maybe Brett, or maybe Wes, or maybe Caleb, or maybe John Gutekunst, maybe they're the ones that are at victory lane tomorrow night.
Well, I'm here to tell you that you're wrong because I'm back, baby, and we're back for predictions. Yes, I have been waiting patiently for the day we come back with High Octane to give you my always correct predictions for Friday Night Fuel. Always. And um, we've talked about him on the show tonight, and I've thought about it. I'm taking a bit of a flyer. I don't really know what he's like on short tracks, but I've seen a lot out of him when he does show up. And it is a bit of a reach for me, which is not something I'm normally super comfortable with. But I think, last season we had this string of new winners, like one after another. And I just don't think we're quite in a spot just yet to really get comfortable with who's really going to be the dominant guy out there. I think there's one more that's going to throw his hat in the ring this week. I think it's Dalton Gibson, and I'm again taking a bit of a flyer. Don't really know what he's like on short tracks, but every time I've been around him, his racecraft has been excellent, and I've seen a lot of good things out of that JST driver, and I just think like he winds up putting it all together, and I could be totally wrong, and he could hate short tracks, and I'll take that one on the chin. But I'm gonna pick Dalton Gibson to get his first Friday Night Fuel win if he does come tomorrow at the Paperclip.
Okay, I see where this is going. I mean, he's at second, 13. Oh, yeah, second last week at Texas, 13th at Darlington. That's the race that unfortunately he wasn't able to fully participate in. The 5th and the 7th at Daytona. So the stats are there. He's led laps, clean driver.
Yes.
Last week at Texas, 0.03 incidents per lap, which means he didn't touch anybody, didn't rough anybody up, wasn't involved in anything. I'm trying to see if he has any X's. They don't show me the X's on SimRacer Hub. Oh, 6. He had 6 incident points at Texas for a 200 lap event. At Darlington, obviously a 0. Rockingham, he had an 8X, and then Daytona, that's just packed racing and a product of what that style of racing is, and it had a 12X. So And he also sat on the pole at Daytona to start our season. So a new
Mm-hmm.
driver coming into a league, sits on the pole his first race, and then shows out with the stats that he has now, average finish of 6.7. Um, that's pretty. That's a pretty good pick, my friend.
New kid on the block getting the
Man,
win at the Paperclip.
it would suck if the brake line broke on him too.
Uh yeah, why I don't know why you're wishing all this bad stuff on good people. What's wrong with you? Don't ain't never done anything bad to you.
He actually
But
has it.
yeah, and so I'm if it's not me, I'm pulling for him to win. I don't. There's no way on God's green earth unless I don't even think I could win a race at Martinsville if I was by myself. But so I'm gonna be rooting for my pick to be right, and maybe Dalton makes me a winner by the time we come back around. Um, Taking a look at the calendar, Ricky. Uh, Traditionally here for the High Octane podcast, we go every other week, and that is the anticipated schedule. Um, but something really awesome is going to be happening next week. That might give us an opportunity to show those who are watching maybe a little bit of a different perspective of High Octane.
Yeah, you made me sit up in the chair a little bit, and I'm real excited to announce this. So this is breaking news. Nobody knows that we're doing this, minus me and Zach. May have a special appearance from another driver who participates in our league. But next weekend we're gonna be broadcasting live. Zach Woods in one room, Ricky Gonzalez in the same room, and we're gonna bring the High Octane podcast live from Atlanta, Georgia, where we will be attending the NASCAR Cup Series in Atlanta. Actually, it's not called Atlanta Motor Speedway anymore. Echo
Ugh.
Park Automotive Speedway. I don't know why they
Ugh.
named it that. I guess it was running out of funds. I don't know, but it's an opportunity for me and Zach to meet in person, go to a NASCAR race together, and he's gonna cheer on his driver. We'll cheer on our driver. Probably talk some trash, maybe drink some waters, and just enjoy ourselves being at the racetrack, and a great opportunity to spend time with some friends that you've gotten to get acquainted with over the years while doing iRacing, and iRacing brings people together.
Uh the other name that Ricky alluded to, and I've put it on his radar a little bit, but he's gonna be in the same hotel as we are, so it's not like he's gonna run away. But is David Motorspa, and David, if you are a longtime viewer here on Spin Move iRacing Network, you know that David and myself, we are co-founders of this YouTube channel, and we used to do shows with one another all the time. And we used to have a show called Drafting Buddies where we talk NASCAR, and we would have a show very similar to this that we would do for another league that we participated in. And it is going to be really, really cool for me to, as much as I look, you've done a great job. I don't want to get it twisted. Like you've been awesome, and but to get David back, at least for just one show, where so often we were hindered based on work schedule and internet problems. um I'm just tickled pink that we can have an opportunity to get David back on the channel. I know that when folks watched, they were really interested in what he had to say. So whether it be Friday Night Fuel stuff or NASCAR stuff, which is probably going to be what that show is going to be all about. David's got some opinions, and he's not afraid to share them. So I'm really excited for what that show is going to bring. A little bit of my old self and my new self coming together with you and David on the show for next week. I'm super excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a long day for both of us traveling far away. It's going to be 12 and a half hours for us to get over to Atlanta. I'm pretty sure it's farther from PA to get down there here in the South, but we're just going to jump on I-20 and say, see you there. Hopefully we can make it. And we're just there to have a good time at the end of the day. So I know you're super stoked when we get there. we're going to be super tired. You're probably going to see us still in sweatpants and just a regular t-shirt. You know, luckily I have somebody that just gave me some Chick-fil-A coupons, so going to be eating some Chick-fil-A on the road, and hopefully we just get to Atlanta safe and sound and enjoy the race and spend some time with you two, and hopefully Alex Bowman wins next week.
No. All right. Well, you're all fueled up and ready to go. We want to thank you for tuning into the High Octane podcast tonight. I am just so excited for what next week has to bring here on the channel. Next time you see us, we will be live from Atlanta. And oh man, I get to meet Ricky in real life. And, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to share that with all of y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to everything here on Spin Move iRacing Network so you don't miss a thing the next time we go live. Last time we signed off, I got accosted by you because I didn't give you an opportunity to say anything to anybody by the time we were done. So I don't want to leave you hanging once again. So is there anything you want to share with anybody before we leave?
Man, before we leave, got to give a big shout out to Brett Bullard. I probably butchered his last name. I always butcher his last
Bullard,
name.
right?
Bullard. Maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's
Like-
still in the chat. Maybe he can say what it is. But
Like-
big
like
shout out to him.
billiards, but with bulls.
Bull.
You know?
Sure. We'll
Like
just go with that.
yeah.
We'll just go with that. That's fine. But big congrats to him. Won his league race tonight. We had an opportunity to spot for him, and just it's fun to always get him up in the tower and try to coach your buddies to try to win one of those things. And so he did it tonight. Big shout out to him. And we're gonna end with this: 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. Everybody take care. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you back from Atlanta next week. Bye.
Just two guys named Ricky and Zach. Strum that rhythm, never look back. Easy talking when racing's a blast. Just here on the High Octane podcast.